The Bitcoin dominance chart is starting to show long-term signals of reversal. Now, short and medium term, we have been looking at a reversal coming in from about the early portion of August, and I wanted to follow up on that as well, and how that can maybe even lead into a much more long-term reversal as I reassess my very long-term views on this particular chart. So other than that, I want to welcome you back to the Aircrown Crypto channel. It's a nice little Tuesday morning over here, very dark outside, so it's setting the mood in the cave, which I like, nice and dark, and all sorts of LED lights in the background. Anyways, first things first, I want to follow up on the short-term analysis. We did identify that there was a reversal coming in on Bitcoin dominance chart in the more near term, coming off of the end of July, early August, which was essentially just looking at, highs and lows here. And if we throw back on our drawing tools, funnily enough, the LARP lines are actually working from that time, which it's not supposed to be exactly like that, but something like that. We can see right here, high, low, lower high, and lower low. And looks like another lower high right there, actually. So ultimately, the downtrend was set in. Yes, indeed. And short term, I would be looking for this one to continue. We do have momentum oscillator signals that do suggest the same thing as well. And we can see right here, a phantom drive of hidden bearish divergence below the neutral zone, which these are not like death signals or anything like that, but likely good enough to get it back down to the current range lows. Also, we do see that silver cross to the downside coming in from late August and still respecting it over here, as that's exactly where that lower high was rejected in late August right here, or like the very, very end of August right here. So ultimately, I would be looking for a drive lower, somewhere around, 48.5%, maybe a little bit lower than that. We do see the white 200 simple coming in around 48.35 actually percent, to be fair. Other than that, we do see that volatility is not really doing fuck all. It's a little bit on the lower side, but not really getting too much from that as of right now. Daily Jewel still positioned to the downside as I click the exact wrong region. So again, kind of playing hand in hand with that RSI signature right there. And then of course, if we go over here, let me just reference my notes. Yes, we got that. We go ahead and reference we go ahead and reference the HPDR range indicator. We can see that the daily 50% of historical returns range lows is right around that mid to low 48% region. So short term, very likely does come back down around there. Invalidation would be basically above last week's high at 49.85, I think that is. Yeah, 49.90 basically. Until then, short-term downside a lot more likely, and that very likely leads into more medium-term downside actually as well. Anyways, so with that in mind, I do want to go over now. Yeah, I do want to go over to stochastic momentum as I just kind of peruse these charts just to double check on things. Yep. Okay. We're good there. And I do want to start off right in over here. So the way that the bi-monthly closed, which did close from August coming into September, it is starting to really ring the bells of potential long-term reversal. So not only am I looking at short and medium-term reversal here now, or which has already been confirmed in playing out, but I'm looking at this as now potentially going to influence the long-term as well. So what essentially we're looking at, we are looking at a rejection right around that yellow 21 exponential moving average, which, is where you kind of do expect, in this case, your lower highs alongside trend to come in around. And of course, we do see if we go ahead and reference stochastic momentum, that the monthly is actually gonna have a chance to turn down for the first time since a very long time, assuming that September remains below about 65%, which is, a decent move to the upside from where it currently is at right now. For reference, that would be about, 5.5% move. Doesn't sound like much on Bitcoin dominance, doesn't sound like much if you're used to cryptocurrencies, but on Bitcoin dominance, that is actually like a, pretty decent move actually. For reference, these sort of bigger dildos over here, they're going for, this one was actually almost 10%, but that was certainly the biggest one that we've seen in quite some time. But ultimately, my point is that I am starting to see signals now that long-term, my view of this one going much higher is actually very likely going to be wrong. So I want to get out this video. I want to be as as abrupt as possible when my views change, so they can correlate with the charts. And well, that's, at least in my experience, the right thing to do. When things change fast with them. So in this case, assuming that a September does remain below this pivot, I will start to look at this as a long-term downside signal, at least coming down to 47%, probably a bounce there. And then we're probably talking about 44%. The last time we saw monthly momentum turn to the downside on this time frame was actually November in 2019, which was over here on this green vertical bar. And as you can see, that was basically the high. It did retest it about a year later, but it was just another rejection, and long-term, the downtrend was set more importantly. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right here. So what would the areas of interest be to the downside if this one truly does reverse? Well, first things first, the long-term, very important region to the downside is about 47.30%. If we see Bitcoin dominance go below this region right here, which is basically this bi-monthly low that I'm currently on right now, at that point, yeah, I'm going to look for this one to have a much deeper retracement, at least 44%. At that point, might come all the way down to like just, very low 40% region. So this is the beginning of the etchings of what I think could be, a continuation of this downtrend actually, which means that my long-term view of this one going much, much higher will be wrong. And of course, I want to once again balance out this statement by saying that, hey, it really comes down to that monthly momentum over here and how it operates specifically on this current move to the downside, anywhere around about 47.30. If it really starts to trade below there, yeah, okay, it's very likely coming down much, 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 much more. Until then, I suppose long-term hopes of significant continuation to the upside, close to 60%, do remain alive. But that sort of analysis is starting to very much weaken here, as this one does, put in signals of greater reversal. So I think I will leave things right there. I think this is a good place for me to be leaving off. Want to be wishing you the best as always. One last thing. No live stream tomorrow. Actually, I have just a shit ton of errands to be running. So unfortunately, no live stream tomorrow, but next week should be good. At least I think so. I don't see anything else in the way. Hopefully not yet, at least. but we'll keep updated on that as well. And of course, as always, want to be wishing you the best. Take care. Much love, and see you hopefully Wednesday.